Okay, let's just be real for a second. Every single CPA firm out there wants one thing, and that's growth. But here's the funny thing, the paradox, right? When most firms actually get that growth, it doesn't feel like success. It feels like chaos. Because the systems that got you to where you are, they just aren't built to take you to that next level. So I've got a question for you, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Does growth at your firm feel like you're taking a victory lap? Or does it feel more like you're just bracing for impact, just trying to survive the next busy season? Look, if that feels a little too familiar, you're not alone. It's one of the most common and totally fixable growing pains in this entire industry. All right, so let's dig into this. We're going to start by really looking at the problem with growth itself. Because here's the thing, just getting bigger isn't always better. In fact, it can be downright destructive if your foundation isn't ready to handle the weight. And this right here, this shows the cycle perfectly. It's the classic reactive way that firms grow. Step 1, you land more clients. Awesome. Step 2, so you hire more staff to handle the work. But that just leads to step 3, way more work to manage, which brings us to step 4, this massive, crushing pressure on the whole system. You see it? It's a hamster wheel, and it is completely unsustainable. And these are the symptoms, right? This is what it feels like when you're stuck on that hamster wheel. You're constantly firefighting, just putting out one fire after another instead of actually planning. Deadlines start to slip. The quality of your work, it might get a little inconsistent because, let's face it, everyone is stretched way too thin. Your best people are getting burned out, and your profits, they're all over the place. Does any of this sound familiar? Okay, so how do we get off this crazy hamster wheel? Well, the first step is we have to redefine the problem entirely. This isn't about your team not working hard enough. I want to be really clear about this. This is not a talent problem. It is a systems problem. And just that one little shift in perspective, it changes absolutely everything. So what do we even mean when we say scalability? Let's boil it down. It's the ability for your firm to handle more volume without adding more stress. It's that sweet spot where your systems just work, your quality stays sky high, and your profits actually go up as you grow. In a truly scalable firm, the problems don't get bigger, only the opportunities do. And this chart here just lays it all out, plain and simple. Scalability is not just about getting a bigger office or hiring a bunch more people. Nope, that's just chaotic growth. True scalability, that's when your systems work no matter who's on the team. It's when quality is consistent for every single client. And it's when growth leads to better profits, not more headaches. So this is the crucial point. If you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this. All that constant firefighting, the overworked teams, the unpredictable profits, those are not failures of your people. They are symptoms of a business model that just isn't built to scale. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now, how do we actually fix it? Let's talk about the solution. And it's all about using what's called a modular outsourcing model to build an infrastructure for controlled, intentional growth. So here's how this modular system works in practice. You're basically creating a really smart, strategic division of labor. Your offshore team handles all the repeatable, process-heavy work. The tax prep, the compliance, the data processing. But this does so much more than just free up your in-house team. It elevates them. It allows them to focus exclusively on the highest value stuff, building client relationships, giving strategic advice, and being that final layer of quality control. All right, let's use a classic example that I'm sure you know all too well, personal tax returns. For so many firms, this is the biggest bottleneck, the biggest source of chaos. And why? Well, just look at the barriers. The work is incredibly volume heavy, it's super time sensitive, it's highly repetitive, and it just eats up a massive amount of your internal resources. It's pretty much the perfect storm for unscalable chaos. But what happens when you apply that modular model here? Suddenly, you solve all of those problems. You can actually add new tax clients without adding more stress to the system. You can keep those turnaround times fast, even in the middle of busy season. And maybe most importantly, you protect your senior staff's time so they can focus on complex, high-value work, all while standardizing your process for way better consistency. It's a game changer. So you might be wondering, why is a place like India so ideal for this model? Well, it's really about a unique combination of factors. You've got this massive talent pool, right? So you have capacity. You have a culture that is really built around process and orientation. There's a deep fluency with modern cloud technology, and you get predictable costs. It's pretty much the perfect recipe for building a scalable operational engine. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. Let's shift from just fixing problems to seeing the incredible strategic advantage that this whole approach gives you. This is really about achieving growth by design, not just by default. And the benefits for US firms? They're clear and they are powerful. First, you get predictable capacity. That means you know you can handle more work without breaking a sweat. Second, you lower your operational risk because your systems are so much more robust. And all of this leads to the third bar, stronger client retention, because your service quality is now consistent and totally reliable. And this is the real long-term payoff. This is what true business flexibility looks like. When you have a scalable core like this, you can suddenly do things like add new services, enter totally new markets, or really scale up your advisory offerings. And you can do it all without having to rebuild your internal team from scratch every single time. That is incredibly powerful. I really love this quote because it just cuts right to the heart of it all. Scalable firms are designed, not discovered. You don't just stumble into scalability. It's not some happy accident. It is a deliberate, strategic choice. It's something you have to build with intention. So let's be crystal clear about what this all means for you right now. In today's landscape, having a scalable structure, it's not a luxury. It's not a nice to have. It is survival. It has become absolutely essential if you want to compete and succeed long term. And that brings us right back to the core question we started with. Now that you've seen how this works, I want you to take a good hard look at your own firm. Is it truly built to grow and to thrive? Or is it just structured to survive? Because really, the answer to that question is going to determine your entire future.